so I thought this was an appropriate t-shirt to wear when discussing the subject matter. So I wanted to say hi guys. It is another day in Charlotte on five. What is wrong with me? 5 things that are making you anxious. Now, I don't know about you, but I suffer from anxiety at times. I didn't really know what it was because I didn't used to think, I used to be quite a like negative nunny. I'd moan a lot, and basically I would moan a lot, and I just kind of had a negative outlook on life. And then a few years back, when I started to become a little bit more positive, I had just got back from LA and I had all these great ideas and things felt like they were in a really good place, and then I just had this like complete outburst where I couldn't stop crying, and I just felt horrendous. And I called my mum, and she'd never heard me like that before, and I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't really know how to like vocalize it. I just was hysterical. Just after that, I got a PT job where I was working regularly for the first time in a job that I actually liked, and I created my own timetable, and I was my own boss, and I felt like anxiety kind of, or whatever I'd felt in that moment, it kind of had subsided, and I was okay, but it would creep up on me at times, and without you even knowing or without realizing, so I just suddenly would feel horrendous again, like it would just come out of the blue. And then last year I had my first panic attack, which I didn't know was a panic attack. I just couldn't breathe and thought that I basically was kind of dying. And it's like, you can't I've got asthma, or I used to have asthma, and so it's sort of like that in terms of you feel like you can't catch your breath. With asthma, it kind of feels like that, like you've just got this shallow, I can't do an impression, but it's shallow, like you haven't got the capacity to, you know, take in air. And so it's slightly like that, but for me, asthma feels like it's here, whereas the anxiety feeling feels like it's here. And I was in bed, and I just was sort of, I think, expressing to my boyfriend that I was feeling a bit weird and uneasy, and then I basically got to this state where I was kind of crying, kind of not breathing, and like it felt like I could, what would happen is I'd breathe out, and I'd keep breathing out, and I'd be like, oh my god, I'm breathing out, I can't breathe in, I can't breathe in, I can't breathe in, I can't breathe in. It's like I'm never going to be able to breathe in ever again in my whole life. I can't breathe in, I can't breathe in, and it would just go on forever and ever and ever and ever, and you just wonder if you'd ever be able to take another breath, and then suddenly you'd be like, but like you can't get enough in. That's what it was like for me anyway. And I told a couple of people, and they were like, that sounds like a panic attack. And I haven't had loads, and I'd never had one before. I mean, I've cried uncontrollably before and had tantrums and been hysterical with snot all over my face, but this felt different. And I've had, I think, 3 in total. I've had a couple since then, and it's really helped having, when I've had Jay's been there each time, the Beyonce, the guy that put a ring on it, has been there. So he's kind of been able to sort of calm me down and soothe me, and he wipes you of all energy. But I kind of wanted to do this video because I think that there are things that we can do to prevent getting to that point, or we can prevent feeling anxious. And I think anxiety comes in different forms for different people. I'm sure that there's a clinical version, and perhaps when I say anxiety, what I mean is unease or depression in some form. It doesn't necessarily, I'm not a doctor, okay? So forgive me if I get the clinical term wrong, but you get my drift, right? I'm hoping. 5 things that we do that make us anxious. Overthinking. I don't know about you guys, but I am the world's biggest overthinker. I might get a text message and someone might say, "Hi, how are you? I've not spoken to you in ages." And I might go, "Okay, what? Oh my god, have I not texted them recently? Do they think that I'm being a bad friend? I hope that they're not thinking that I'm mean. I don't want them to think that I haven't purposely texted for so long. Should I have been the person that's made the contact? Are we still friends?" I can make a mountain out of a molehill. I have had to rein that in as I've gotten older, and you build up habits and you change your thinking as time goes on. But for me, like, as a young person, like, I incessantly overthought everything. You know when you see someone and you're like, "Hey!" And then they might be like, and you're like, "Oh my god, that person was definitely being mean to me. They gave me an evil. What have I done? I've obviously, like, murdered their cat. Oh my goodness, I don't think I've even been in contact with a cat of late, but I think I must have murdered their cat. I mean, why do they hate me so much?" Basically, I would turn myself into a ball of mess. And the thing is, you can't think what they're thinking. Like, what is the point of overthinking it? Why analyze it? Like, it is what it is. They either gave you an evil and that is what it is, or they didn't and they're going through their own stuff. Said like, "Hey guys, like, what have I done to offend you? Have I upset you?" Rather than overthinking it and thinking it and thinking and thinking and thinking, and then not really dealing with the issue at hand. And the thing is, you're scared that they're gonna go, "Oh my god, you are so oversensitive, like, chill out, why are you being a drama queen?" And that is the fear. I think being sensitive and overthinking things, like, there's always this weird fear that someone's gonna call you up on it and call you out, and you don't want to be that person. You don't want people to see you as an overthinker. It's like, I want to overthink, but I don't want anybody to know that I overthink. And then if someone doesn't take what you say and empathize with it and go, "Oh my goodness, like, I totally get why you would feel like that," but if they don't do that because people have got their own stuff going on and they make you feel worse, allow them. Don't make that situation make you feel worse, because that is never going to be beneficial to you. They have got their own stuff, and allow it and know that they're just trying to make you feel worse to make themselves feel better. Overthinking is definitely one way that we are making ourselves feel anxious, and I think that we're in a world where we can overthink a lot. It's like our heads don't stop. It's like we don't take the time to just chill because there's so much going on in life. So I think we need to take a second and just breathe. Another way we make ourselves feel anxious is we tell ourselves negative thoughts. "You're really crap." Like, I feel like it's kind of second nature to be negative more so than positive, and I think there's a whole societal, is that a word? A whole background in society of why we talk down to ourselves. And the reason I was a negative person is because I was telling myself negative thoughts. Another way that we make ourselves anxious is by comparing ourselves to others. So, like, even this morning, I was scrolling through Instagram and I went on a particular person's page. She was really lean, and I got out of bed and she had abs, and I then went and saw myself in the mirror, and I didn't follow rule 1, which was tell myself positive thoughts. Danny, practice what you preach. I then looked at my body and was like, "Oh man, Like, I swear I work out the same as this person, and I have a very balanced diet, so like, why can't I see my abs? Or I was like, why don't I look that lean? Why am I comparing myself to somebody on the internet, let alone anyone else? Like, comparing ourselves doesn't do us any good. Like, we have got what we have got, and we bring to the table whatever we bring to the table. We're just as worthy or just as great as the person that we're comparing ourselves to. Like, it's really hard to tell ourselves that we still have the same worth and that we're still just as freaking awesome if what we're looking at, we have some form of judgment. And I don't necessarily mean negative judgment. I mean, we're looking at it and we're judging it, right? And we're attaching the thought, this person looks really good because she is really lean, which then creates the thought, I'm not as lean, so therefore don't look as great. We need to take these thoughts that we have and change what it is. I mean, I don't know why, but this is where our thoughts are. Here. Hi, thoughts. So, what is wrong with me? But they're the thoughts that I was talking about earlier that aren't facts, and they're not true. And comparison is the thief of joy. And then that gives me the thought that I'm not as good, which comes down to not feeling good enough, which creates anxiety. Like, it's all part of the stuff that I said previously. Those comparisons won't do us any good. Like, concentrate on yourself. But I'm gonna lie to you guys, like, sometimes we have those moments of silliness. Yeah, I'm silly. I am gonna end the video there. They're all the things that we do that make us anxious. So if we stop doing those things, we might feel a little bit less anxious. And I think that feeling anxious really can be really overwhelming and really take away from us living in the moment and living a really joyful, happy, content life. And so if we can do any of the things that don't create that anxiety, then I think that we are on to a winner. Chicken dinner. So I'm going to leave it there, and it was lovely to see you. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Subscribe, follow along, help me figure out what this YouTube journey is about, and give me any comments below, any feedback, and yeah, hopefully we can go from there. Alright,